Good afternoon, Fluency friends. Good afternoon. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in the new year. We haven't seen each other in this year yet. Happy New Year to everyone. I hope that you are well and I hope that you started your new year also well on a good note and that you are feeling good. Let me know in the comments as always how you are and what is going on with you. How was your new year? Maybe first of all, let's start from wishing you all the best this year, and I really hope that it will bring a lot of good things. And yeah, all the best to you. I don't remember when the last time was when I did a live video. I think it was in December. So it was before Christmas. I think we had our Christmas quiz. So it is quite strange to be live again after such a long break because it's been on almost a month now. So welcome to all of you who is joining us this moment. So let me know how you are and how you started your new year. If you have any New Year's resolutions and if you are making any, I am not really sure if you are. A lot of people don't. I think a lot of people are quite skeptical about making resolutions, and I completely understand because it is hard. It is hard to make a resolution and stick to it, especially if there is something new. I usually do quite a few, sometimes, well, maybe not quite a few. I usually try to make one or two because it motivates me to do things in life, you know. So this year I do want to learn Portuguese. So I started my lessons this year. And so far, so good. I think I am doing quite well. I don't have much time to study, but I have lessons, private lessons, and then I study outside of the of those lessons. So yeah, I think I'm quite okay with that and with keeping up with all the things and learning every day, because this is what I do want to do in life all the time. So I do want to basically learn every day and try to improve it. At the end of the year, I do want to be fluent. So I hope that you do some resolutions as well and that you are doing it. So give me a second because I do. Well, Facebook is of course not working, so I'm not going to even bother with that because it's never working properly. Sorry about that. If someone is joining here from Facebook, welcome. And I hope that you all can watch this a bit later if you are joining from there and or if you haven't managed to watch it. So welcome to everyone. So today we are going to have some motivation. Okay, so it's not going to be a lesson, but it's going to be a little bit of a motivational webinar, but all in English. So this is also a good thing for listening. If you don't really practice listening, it is a good thing to listen to. To practice a little bit of that, and I am going to try not to say not to talk too much in Polish, and we'll see how it goes. And if you have any questions, of course, you can let me know in the comments and ask me, what does it mean? I don't understand. So I can always explain it to you. Moi drodzy, witam Was bardzo serdecznie. Wiem, że wielu z Was, że większość z Was dzisiaj, to znaczy większość, jest na YouTubie. Na YouTubie niestety nie jest to zawsze najlepsze miejsce, bo do mało osób dociera. Facebook jest zawsze lepszy, ale oczywiście Facebook znowu nie działa i po prostu już tracę cierpliwość, więc nie będę tego naprawiać na razie. Jeżeli oglądacie to później na Facebooku, również Was witam serdecznie i przepraszam za problemy. Więc cóż dzisiaj będziemy robić? Dzisiaj będzie motywacyjna lekcja. Będzie dzisiaj lekcja bardziej na słuchanie niż na mówienie, czy jakieś tam słówka, czy gramatyka. Ja będę w większości oczywiście mówić, Wy słuchacie, ale też możecie mi pisać w komentarzach, jak czegoś nie rozumiecie, chcecie coś dodać, chcecie coś podzielić się czymś od siebie, to oczywiście zapraszam Was do tego, żeby dać znać w komentarzu. Jeżeli tutaj jesteście, dajcie też znać, że jesteście, przywitajcie się w komentarzu, powiedzcie cześć, dzień dobry, dobry wieczór, żebym wiedziała, że jesteście. Więc parę rzeczy informacyjnych. Jeżeli zapisaliście się na Fluent in Business, czyli nasze wyzwanie 5-dniowe w tym tygodniu, to dzisiaj już otrzymaliście pierwszy webinar, pierwsze zadania i pierwsze karty pracy. Jeżeli tego nie macie w swoich skrzynkach, proszę sprawdzić spam i inne wszystkie foldery, gdzie te rzeczy czasami wpadają, więc warto tam sprawdzić, zanim do mnie napiszecie, że tego nie macie, bo po prostu czasami wpadają te rzeczy w inne foldery, warto sprawdzić. Druga rzecz jest taka, że dzisiaj jest przedostatnie nasze spotkanie ever. Przez lata i lata robiłam nasze spotkania na żywo co poniedziałki. Najpierw robiłam je rano, później robiłam je popołudniami. Niestety ostatnio dochodzę do wniosku, że jednak cierpię na małe wypalenie, jeżeli chodzi o przygotowywanie naszych spotkań. I przynajmniej na jakiś czas zawieszam je. Nie mówię, że nigdy nie wrócę, bo to różnie bywa, ale przynajmniej na razie to będą nasze ostatnie spotkania. Dzisiaj jest przedostatnie, w następnym tygodniu jest ostatnie spotkanie, także będziemy się widzieć po raz ostatni, ale to nie jest oczywiście rzecz, która będzie zawsze, bo będę wracać z regularnymi webinarami, wyzwaniami, nagraniami na YouTubie, więc będzie tego trochę, także proszę nie odchodźcie, bądźcie tutaj, bo będę na pewno wracać do Was regularnie, po prostu trochę z mniejszą częstotliwością, ale nadal tutaj będę oczywiście. Dobrze, moi drodzy, więc tylko sobie zgaszę moje nazwisko, żeby Wam nie przeszkadzało i już się dzielę z Wami moją prezentacją, więc dzisiaj będziemy sobie mówić o motywacji. So the whole thing will be in English. Wszystko będzie po angielsku. Znowu, jak czegoś nie rozumiecie, to można mi dać przez komentarz na dole. So this is going to be your year. Many people, when the new year starts, many people have resolutions, make resolutions. So very often you have something that you want to do that year. It can be learning a language, but it can be some other things. So I will help you today with this, with keeping up and with making resolutions and keeping up the promise and keeping up your motivation, I guess. After I will tell you a little bit today about motivation and about how it works and why it is not good to rely on motivation all the time, but we will get to that in a moment. So we will start from setting your goals. Okay, so setting your goals for this year, and this is quite important. So very often everyone says, oh, I want to learn more English, I want to improve my English. But this is not really enough very often when it comes to many things. It's not only about learning a language, but also all the things that you want to achieve. If it's losing weight, going to the gym, you know, you need to be a little bit more specific than that, because saying I want to improve English, it's not really specific. How will you know that you improved your English? How will you check it? What will you do during the year to achieve that goal? So all these things are very important, and it's better to really be a little bit more specific. So there is something like SMART goals. To be honest, I am not the biggest fan of that. It really brings to mind very corporate things, and very something that, probably if you work for a big company, you heard about SMART goals. And this always brings to my mind this very stiff and very formal environment, and really something that, it's not very flexible also. So if you want, you can go and Google what is a SMART goal, and how we do SMART goals, and how we make resolutions based on those SMART goals. But today I only want to share with you a couple of things, 3 things that are the most important. So the first thing is how much time you have for studying every week. So this is the most important thing. So look at your schedule, look at your life, and see how busy you are, and how much free time do you have. Things that are important are: when can you study, how long can you study, and maybe where can you study. You can also change it every week, but try to have around 3.5 hours of studying every week. On average, this is 30 minutes for 5 days plus 1 hour for 1 hour for a lesson with a teacher. So this, in general, means that you don't have to study on the same. The most ideal scenario here, of course, is that we study on the same days at the same time, because of that your habit develops. Okay, so for example, if I exercise, I like exercising, I like working out. So if I exercise every day, 5 days a week at the same time after I get up, this is my habit. And if I don't do it, I feel a bit strange. I feel like something is missing. Of course, it took me a long time to get to this point, but with time you can also do this as well. So this is an ideal thing. If you study every day for 30 minutes for 5 days, and then 1 hour for one lesson, that will be great. But sometimes, of course, you have busier weeks. You have weeks when you're sick, or you're going on holiday, or your child is sick, or any other things, right? So, of course, we want to also be flexible. We want to be flexible, and we want to just enjoy ourselves. We don't really want to be very strict with that. So if you cannot set your habits every day and your learning time every day, then every week on Sunday you can sit down, have a look in your calendar, and check when can you actually study, when can you make time for your English. So on Sunday, for example, if you sit down and say, okay, on Monday I'm not working very long, so I can spend 1 hour, for example, but on Tuesday I have no time because I need to go to yoga class, I need to meet my friends, and I need to visit my parents or something. So if you don't have time on Tuesday, then that's fine, but on Monday you have 1 hour. On Wednesday you might have 15 minutes. On Thursday you can have half an hour, and you can put it in your calendar, you can put it in your schedule, so you know straight away at the beginning of the week what things must be done and what things you can do during that week. The next thing is, what is your level and how can you study? So if you are a beginner, you will need to learn more vocabulary and do some grammar exercises. If you are more advanced, you can listen more, watch more movies, and learn from conversations. So this is also important. You have to know your level of English. Is it A2, B2, C1, What is your level? Have you done any tests? Tests are important. In English, a test can be done or in writing, and you can have also oral tests, but with a teacher. So it's good to know at the beginning, it is good to know your level. After that, if you know your level, you can also plan your learning a little bit more. So if you are a beginner, this means that you need to spend a lot of time learning vocabulary and doing grammar exercises, except, of course, your conversation lessons. But in your spare time, you need to spend a little bit more time doing that and reviewing and repeating and, doing a lot of these a little bit more boring things. If you are a little bit more advanced, and if your listening is good, for example, you can also learn from listening to podcasts, watching movies, things like that, reading books as well. So you can actually do that in your spare time if you are a little bit more advanced. So if you are an advanced student, then it is easier for you to learn from practice. So if you are a beginner, you probably need more time to spend on these boring things when you actually have to sit down and do exercises. But if you are a little bit more advanced, then it is maybe it is a bit more pleasant to learn from listening and from watching movies and from reading books. What do you want to achieve this year? So you can achieve another level this year. It is possible to do that. You have time for that. You can also say, at the end of the year, I'd like to have a small talk with my colleagues without fear. So again, it all depends on you. Do you want to, at the end of the year, where do you want to be? Do you want to have some small talks with someone? Do you want to go abroad and just communicate with people? Or do you want to achieve another level because this is very important for your job? So there are a lot of things you can do, and some goals that you can achieve, set for the upcoming year, but you have to be more specific. So think about what is important to you, what things you must do by the end of the year, and you want to do by the end of the year, and then set that goal, and step by step you can follow your learning routines and so on to get to that point. You don't need to be good to start, but you need to start to be good. It is a very nice quote. Remember that to start learning English, you really don't need to be perfect. Very often people who come to our lessons, they think that they must be, perfect in English, or they must be very good to start conversation with a native speaker, but very often you don't really need to. You can be on an A2 level, so quite a beginner, and you can start from there. You really don't need to be higher than that. You also don't need to be good to start conversation in English. You can be a beginner and you can already start trying. So the thing here is to start. So this is the key to start. And also another key that you have to have is consistency. So you need to learn every day. You need to every day you need to do reviews. Like I said, sometimes it's not possible, and that's fine. But you do need to do it consistently. So you need to be able to actually, at least a couple of times per day, you need to sit down and review, learn, speak, right? Speaking is the most important thing, so you need to do that. So if you think about successful people work hard for years to achieve success, and even if they achieve that success, they don't stop. So if you look at people football players, or even celebrities, singers, very often to keep up that level of success, they do need to work hard all the time. So I'm not saying that you must achieve a great success this year, but remember that to get better, you do need to work on that hard, and you need to be consistent in your learning. So if you need to be successful, you need to work hard every single day, and remember that this doesn't come overnight. So it's not, in many cases, when you haven't had lessons for a long time, or you haven't learned for a long time, you will have a long way to go before you achieve another level, or you achieve something that you want to achieve. This means that it is possible to do that, but it requires you to work. So it might take you 2 months if you are a fast learner, or if, for example, you've had lessons before, or you've had contact with the language, or you use that language every day. Yes, it is possible to do it in a few months, but sometimes, most of the time, it does take a long time. It takes years, sometime a couple of years, to finally achieve your goal. So success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. And it is something that many people forget, that, first of all, success, if you achieve a certain level, that is not something that you can maybe stop at. To maintain that level, you have to also study a lot. You have to really, repeat, review. You have to go back. You have to have the contact with the language on a regular basis, because otherwise it just disappears. You forget, especially if you live in Poland and you don't really use it every day, then it does, very often it does disappear. But failure is not fatal. This means that failure is really not something that you should think about. Even if you make a mistake, mistakes are fine to make. Mistakes are really not a bad thing. They will not kill you. They are not fatal. So you can, during the conversation, you can really make mistakes. It's fine. And the courage to continue counts the most here. So, it is true that if you have a language barrier, and if you are a little bit scared of speaking, you need some courage, and you need to be a bit brave to start a conversation. But once you start, this is your small success, and all these small things, all these small steps will lead you to your goal, to your level that you want to achieve. Next one is, please don't listen to others. So especially, what I mean is here, do not compare yourself to other people. Compare yourself to yourself. It's you versus you. So you can have a look at what you did before, what kind of level you had, what is your level now. In a couple of months, go back to that. Have a look at the level before. Can you communicate, a little bit better? Can you understand more? Do you have better grammar, for example? Have you improved your vocabulary? So always look back at yourself and not at others. Remember that other people might speak better English, but there are a lot of things that happened in their lives to get them to that level. Maybe they started learning way before you. Maybe they lived abroad. Maybe they learn faster. There are a lot of these things, and this doesn't mean that you are worse. Do not listen to people that try to discourage you. So people who say, why are you learning? This doesn't make any sense. You're too old. It's why are you wasting your money? Why are you wasting your time? There are people with negative approach and attitude. So do not listen to that, because if you do want to learn, then just do it. And do not listen to yourself and your own doubts. So sometimes in our heads, we will have days when we don't really want to believe in ourselves, and we feel like we are failing. So do not listen to this, because if you really want to, again, if you really want to learn this, if this is what you want, sometimes there will be days when you don't really want to do it, but don't listen to that, and keep on doing what you're doing. When you hear something negative, stop, take a breath, and tell yourself, I know what I'm doing and I will achieve my dreams and goals. So this is also good. Like it's a good mantra to have, and it's a good thing to remind yourself daily. And maybe write it down somewhere in a notebook or something like that, or in your calendar that sends a reminder to you. Just believe in what you're doing. I'm sure, if you do it consistently, if you do it every day, if you do it on a regular basis, then you'll definitely achieve your goals soon. Stay away from those people who try to disparage your ambitions. Small minds will always do that, but great minds will give you a feeling that you can become great too. And this is something that I think it's a really good thing to have. So surround yourself with people who actually believe in you, who do the same, who are also learning as well, who understand you and who support you. There are a lot of things that people are, if people discourage you from doing something bad, yes, of course, you should listen to them, and deep inside that this is bad what you're doing. But learning a language is a very good thing, and it's a good thing for your life and for your mind and for yourself. So, try to listen to those who support you. Force yourself and push yourself every day. It is something that a lot of people struggle with. So feeling demotivated. If you feel demotivated, get up and start learning, and you will feel better after 5 minutes. Because this is a little bit like with running outside, when there is cold, it's cold outside, you decided that you want to run every day, or you want to, run a marathon, and you need to train for that. So there are days when you look outside and it's raining, or it's cold, or you just don't feel very well and you just don't want to go. But once you put those trainers on and you put your clothes on and you go outside, then you feel that you're actually doing something good for yourself. And this is exactly how learning a language works. So sometimes we really don't want to do it and we are very discouraged. But once we sit down and we actually do it, we can be proud of ourselves and we have a very positive feeling about it. Don't skip your studying, even if you feel like you don't want to do it. If you feel tired a little bit, or just demotivated, or you don't want to do it, don't skip your studying. Because if you start skipping, if you start avoiding your studying, then it will go for a long time. So, try not to have a break. Don't take long breaks. If you go on holiday for 2 weeks or a week, that's fine, okay? During that time, you can, for example, watch a movie in English or listen to something in English. That's also okay. But don't take long breaks after. So months, 2 months, 3 months, that's really not a very good thing to do. Don't get discouraged. Remember about your goals. So, don't listen to all these things in your head. Just push yourself a little bit, and don't rely on your motivation, because sometimes it is hard to be motivated, and and your motivation comes and goes, and it's very often something that is missing, and it will go away after a while. You might be very motivated right now, but it might go away, and it probably will. So don't rely. If you don't feel motivated, then forget about it and just sit down and start learning. And I'm sure that your motivation will come back. It is the case that it comes and goes very often. So your mindset. It's very, it is a combination of a lot of things. So first, it is your attitude. So your approach, it's how you feel, that if you feel positive and you want to do it, then you start doing it. So it leads to your behavior. And you start, you think about it, and then you want to, you decided to actually learn English, and then it leads to your action. So taking lessons, learning every day, and this always leads to achieving your goals, to your success. But I think the most important here is your attitude with in learning and in getting to a goal. Okay, I hope that this helped a little bit, and I hope that it is something that you will take to yourself, to your heart, and you will remember about this advice, and that it will be something that you will remember when you learn. Moi drodzy, nagadałam się w języku angielskim. Mam nadzieję, że część z Was zrozumiała, że wzięliście sobie to wszystko do serca i zapamiętacie to, co tutaj było. Jeżeli chcielibyście mieć z tego ściągawkę, a jest ściągawka i to wszystko, co mówiłam, wiele z tego jest na slajdach, które Wam teraz przesyłam, więc macie w komentarzu link do tego, do tej ściągawki. Tam macie wiele, te slajdy i zdania i motywacyjne cytaty, które można sobie wydrukować, więc jeżeli chcecie sobie wydrukować, zapraszam. Oprócz tego jeszcze oczywiście przypominam o treningach konwersacji u nas 1 na 1, więc możecie prywatnie się zapisać na zajęcia 1 na 1 z native speakerem lub z polskim lektorem, polską lektorką. I też mamy zajęcia konwersacji dla firm, które są również na bazie 1 na 1. I w tych kartach pracy wysyłam Wam też link do oferty, a oprócz tego można zajrzeć również na stronę internetową. Wielu z Was potrzebuje do pracy języka angielskiego, można namówić HR-y i inne osoby od Learning and Development do tego, żeby po prostu zajęły się nauką języka angielskiego w Waszej firmie. Myślę, że to jest dosyć ważna rzecz, szczególnie jeżeli chcecie zdobyć awans i jest Wam to potrzebne, to jest na pewno przydatne. Także zajrzyjcie do tego. I co? I tyle na dzisiaj. Dziękuję Wam bardzo serdecznie za dzisiejsze spotkanie. Miło mi było Was uczyć. It was a pleasure teaching you. Have a good night and good week ahead of you. And I'll see you next Monday. Bye bye.